Guys, how's it going? New tutorial here, and in this tutorial we're going to learn how to create this box depth scene. It's another simple one. It's very easy to create. It doesn't take any time at all, and you can use it for whatever kind of scene you like. I really like how the result turned out, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So in this tutorial you'll learn how to create this scene right here. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so here is our default scene, and let's get started. So we are going to use the default cube here. So I'm just going to move our cube above the grid floor like that by hitting GZ1. And that'll put our origin point at the base, which is pretty important because where the origin is where your object is going to emit from. Alright, so that is pretty much it. It was just cubes. Let's go ahead and create the material for it because we'll need to create different sizes. We're not going to have just one size cube. We'll have different sizes. So let's go ahead and do the materials. So we're going to add in a new material. Image texture. Open. And the texture that I'm going to use is woodfine 0038. So I'll provide the texture link in the description. This is on CG Textures. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that image. Going to head to the UV image editor here. So I'm going to click this little box and you can hit E to jump right to the editor. Alright, so in front view we'll just go cube projection. You'll get these different kinds of faces. Just select the texture there. Hit Alt Z, you can go into texture to viewport mode, and I'm just going to actually scale this down a little bit because we do want to see some of the wood detail in the render. Since this is wood slats, it'll be a little bit harder to define the texture, so if you make it bigger you'll be able to see the texture a little bit better, but around in there should be good. Okay, next thing to do is set up the rest of the materials. So I'm going to hop to the node editor by clicking on this box again and hitting N. And in the node editor I'm going to do the simple mix of diffuse and glossy. Plug that into each other. I'm going to set the factor amount to be 0.06. And I'm going to set the glossy roughness amount to 0.3. Okay, you can see how our material is looking here. Now we need to add in a bump map. So I went into Crazy Bump, set this to non-color data as well. Went into Crazy Bump and generated a normal map for this texture. Alright, so go ahead and add that in. I'll provide the texture in the description as well. And then we're going to go to vector normal map. This is how you add bump mapping, and we're just going to plug that into the displacement. And we're going to set the factor amount to 0.1. So nice and steady, not that much. And that is pretty much it. Cool. So that is our cube all done. Alright, now we're going to make different sizes here. So we'll have some bigger and a little bit taller as well. And then maybe have the image editor open to kind of just move the thing a little bit to make it look like a different type of box. Alright, so we'll duplicate from this one again. Maybe scale this one down. Duplicate that one. Scale it in the middle. And And then again, just change the texturing around to make them all look different. And there we go. We got a nice little array that'll add some nice randomness to our scene, which will definitely help. And that's pretty much it. Let's get on to the particle part of the tutorial. So I'm just going to move our cubes here to another layer so they're out of the way. So layer 2. Now to add in our object, I used a cylinder. And under the settings, go ahead and the cap fill type set to nothing because we want open ends. And just going to increase the vertice amount here to about 70. And that's important because the particle system is going to emit from the vertices. So it's important that you add in a lot. So let's rotate this along the X by 90 degrees. And then we're just going to move this up on the below the grid floor, or the origin point at the base of our object. So that is GZ1 in edit mode. And then we're just going to scale this up and scale it along the Y. So we have that nice depth. I'm just going to set it to the length of our grid floor. Alright, another important thing to do is, like I said before, we needed more vertices. So I'm going to add in loop cuts, and I'm going to scroll up here, add in a nice amount, should be pretty good, just so your cylinder looks like this. Alright, so yeah, just add in the vertices and you'll be good. Alright, another important thing to do is you can see with this tool here, you see where the normals are shooting out. So our particle system is going to be emitting from the outside, and we don't want that. So just open up your toolbar here, go to shading / UVs, and click on flip direction. So now our particles are going to be emitting from the inside of our cylinder. Okay, I'm just going to turn those off. And we are ready for the particle system. Okay, so let's go ahead and add in a new particle system. And set the type to hair, check advanced, check random, and we're going to set the size to be 0.02 should be good. Let's go ahead and add in our, need to make a group first. So go ahead and select all these and hit Control G. Alright, they are now a group. So we can select them from here. And there you go. Okay, so you can see the rotation and stuff is kind of messed up. Go ahead and check rotation. And then we're going to move back to here. Just select these guys again. And in front view, go ahead and rotate it like so. And there you go. Now they're all rotating into the thing. And they are good to go. Alright. So we just need to add in, maybe turn the size back up there. There we go. Let's add in about, I don't know, let's go 1500. I think that's pretty good. We can set random size as well. Definitely recommend doing that. So you get a bunch of random sizes. You don't really want to hit Brownian or random at all, because it's going to twist them. And I mean, if you want them twisted, you can do that. But I like them a little more just straight. Alright, I think that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and add in a bunch more. Maybe set, I think I actually, I'm looking at my settings here, I did add in a little bit of randomness, but I won't do that in this one. Okay, I definitely need to set the size up more, like that. And here we go. Set the size up a little bit more. It's a lot of tweaking with this scene. I definitely was tweaking a lot with it when I was creating it, just to try and get them laying right. So I'm gonna set the random size up there more. And once you got something that looks like this, or something that satisfies you, we'll go ahead and move on. So for our cylinder, it's gonna need the wood material as well, because you can see all these empty spots in here where the rendering is gonna be. So we need to add in the material as well to there. And all you have to do for this is just hit U and cylinder projection. And in the editor, we do need to rotate it, I believe. Yeah. We just need to kind of like see that there is a texture there. So you want to rotate it this way, and then you're going to want to scale it along the Y a little bit more. And maybe just scale it down so the texture is a little bit bigger. And I think that is pretty much it. Cool. Alright. Let's set up the camera and the lighting and get on with the rest of the tutorial. So let's add in a camera, and the shot is going to be pretty much right up in here. Wanting maybe down here a little bit more just to give some nice depth. And then you're going to want to rotate it like this. Now I did set up a portrait based dimension for the camera. So I'm just going to do that again, and I'm going to zoom this out to give a wider shot. And the clipping is going to be needed to go up some, just so we can get everything in the shot. And that is good. Alright, let's set up the lighting so we can delete the default lamp. We can replace it with a plane. Let's rotate that along the X by 90 degrees. And then we're just going to scale this up to fit that size there, like that. And then we're going to place it directly at the end. That's going to give that nice white at the end of our tunnel. Alright, let's kill any environment lighting. This is going to be our only light source. And in the lighting part, we're going to add in emission. We're going to make it completely white. And then let's go ahead and preview it. So you can see there, we got our box dimension, and it's looking pretty good. Alright, let's set that to be about 10. That's what I used. Alright, so you can see there's some tweaking that we need to do with the materials. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So for the materials, I think I have the texture set to be a little big here. So we need to set it to be a little bit smaller. Alright, sorry about that. I had something in my eyes, but I think I'm good to go now. So we just need to, I think we just need to scale all of these back up a little bit here to make the texture a little bit bigger. And then we'll probably turn down the normal amount for these as well. So about 0.02, something pretty faint. And that should be good now. So let's check it, but before we check it, let's do some camera settings here. So let's get some nice depth of field action. So I'm just going to set the distance to be around in there. You do want to focus it though on some kind of cube. So I'll just do this guy right here. So I think around in there should be pretty good. Just that little area right there. Alright, and then we're going to set it to f-stop. Set the number, I think I used about 1. No, the lower you set that, the higher it will be. The depth of field amount. So let's check this now. Ta-da! That's pretty much it. Alright, bye. No, we'll do a little bit of compositing. But that is pretty much how you make the scene. So we got this nice effect here that will add a nice glow in the compositor. But other than that's pretty much it. Just do a little bit more where I have the camera placed. Maybe just move it up just a little bit. And I think that's good. Alright, rendering options. Okay, let's set the rendering. For my final one, I had to use almost 1,000. But for this tutorial, I'll just do about 500. Alright, full global. Illumination. And that is pretty much it. Cool. Alright, let's hit F12. And I'll come back once the rendering has finished. Alright, so the render has finished, and let's go ahead and hop into the compositor. So, control left arrow and control up arrow. So use nodes, backdrop. Let's go ahead and hit control shift and click on our render layer node. And there we go. There is our render. So let's go ahead and composite this. So the first thing I'm going to do is add in a color and an RGB curve. And I'm just going to pop the brightness up just a tad. And now I'm going to add in that big glow. So fog glow. Set the size to 9. And then you're just going to have to test this because it takes the brightest areas of the scene and glows them. So just have to see. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Actually, that outlining turned out better than I think my final render did, but alright. Alright, let's add in some color grading, so color balance. And we're going to set this part to be a little bit in the orange and yellow. So it's a little bit warmer. Like that. Not too much though. And then we're going to set the offset here to be blue. So we have that nice contrast between the two colors. Alright. Sweet. That is pretty much it. Let's add in a lens distortion node. I'm gonna set the dispersion just to a small amount. And then the vignette. So distort to 1, converter math, Easter egg. Set the type to greater than, value of 0, filter blur, type to be fast Gaussian, relative x 30 by 30, color mix, set the type to multiply, vignette into the bottom, and last node before the vignette into the top. And then we'll set that to about 0.7. And there you go. There's our vignette. Alright, so now with the vignette applied, it darkens the scene a little bit, so we can bump that back up, but still keeping the vignette. And there you go, guys. That is pretty much everything that I did. That is our final scene. So you can see the render mixed with our composite. So that is the end of the tutorial. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from it. And you can share your final renders in the comments below, or you can email me directly at prebeostudios@gmail.com. And if you have any questions, you can email that too. And I hope you learned something from this tutorial. And you can take this anywhere, use it however you want. If you guys make some animations, I definitely want to see. But that will do it for me in this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.